talked about the raffle. We will, at the end, before the evening's over, we will draw the winning ticket. So there's still more time to buy more tickets. I've said before, I sort of have 3 areas of these chats usually. Background and context, starting with how people first learn about art, and then their influences and the process, how they do what they do. Annie works with a lot of different mediums, so that's going to be a really interesting thing to talk about all the different mediums she works in. So starting out with background, Annie Wildbear, welcome.
Thank you.
You were born actually in yeah.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jana.
Annie was born in New Jersey, but moved as a young child to California, in Riverside, and then you kind of grew up in Claremont. And you mentioned to me, you've done art since you were a kid?
I don't remember not.
Drawing, coloring, just making things?
Mostly drawing. My dad was a professor, and so...
Professor of what?
Psychology. And he taught at UCR at the time. And I don't know what it was all about because I was a little kid, but I just know that he would bring home just stacks of paper from that was typed on, I guess manuscript papers or something like that, or maybe students' papers that they were gonna throw out. But anyway, he brought it home for me so that I had drawing paper because the back of the paper was blank. So I just always had just stacks and stacks of paper to draw on, and my mom set up a little in the hallway in our house, my little art gallery, and she would change the pictures every month or so.
So it was really sort of an encouraging place to play with art.
Very much, yeah. My mom always
treated you like you were already showing.
Right. So I have my little.
So this is nothing new. You've been showing things
yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
And I think you said your mom wasn't an artist, but she was creative. She did a lot of creative things.
She had studied art at Otis in New York, but never really had an art career. And she had done some work in interior design and had designed textiles for a while. Just dabbled in this and that in New York. But then she got married and had kids, and that was sort of that.
She stopped doing textiles?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just, something she did before. And she had done sculpture. She was really interested in doing ceramics, clay, sculpture. She loved doing that, but just as a hobby.
And so you did art all through school, and you said in Claremont, which is a big college town. While you were in high school, you actually were able to take college classes? Was it college art classes?
Yes.
While you were still in high school?
College art classes. Well, my family knew some of the art people in the art department, so I got into the classes, a couple of classes.
So when you were in high school, you said you learned about even experimental stuff and performance art and...
Yeah, because they had, one of the classes had guest lecturers, and one of the guest lecturers was a well-known performance artist. I don't know if any of you have heard of Chris Burton, but he was a big deal back in the 70s and 80s, and I didn't know anything about him. I was just a kid, but I found out later that he's really famous, and he did that piece that's at LACMA with the, I forget what it's called, but with the lights, all the street lights. Yes, that's Chris Burton. Yeah, and so he was a pretty big deal, and he came and spoke at the class. Everybody who was in college, of course, was just like, oh, they were all impressed. And I was like, okay.
But that's a cool exposure. Yeah, even as a high school kid, that's a cool exposure because then you sort of get used to a lot of different things, which is, I think, good.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first famous artist you were aware of or felt a connection with, or who you first kind of connected to, or who you connect to now, or who you thought, ooh, I wish I could paint like that?
I would say probably Peter Max, but with the earlier stuff, the Yellow Submarines stuff,
So
that was
colors
a big
and
influence.
graphics and animation a little bit.
And I would say still, yeah.
Has that changed, you think, over the year, or you still go back to that? I think you talked about pop art and a little bit of surrealist and modern 60s, 70s type artists.
I really am into sort of the lowbrow